Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed and today I will be the presenter for our show, and today we are going to discuss about the impact of globalization on young people and their culture and their values. So before that, let's watch this short sketch that explains the main idea of the impact of globalization on young people.
Albert here looks to build his lifestyle, identity, and values as he navigates his life. However, he must now choose between two foundations, and they couldn't be more different. On one side are Western-influenced ideas. Thanks to globalization, these values are modern, and more youth are now adopting them in their daily actions and decisions. On the other hand, we have the traditional values and cultural norms. These ideas have been passed down for generations, and many families and societies have been built around them. Unfortunately, the youth are no longer identifying with them. Faced with this dilemma, will the youth take up these modern trends and ambitions that have been spread through globalization and media, or will they go back to their cultural roots and moral tradition to search for the true sense of belonging and moral clarity?
Right, as we see in the sketch, globalization has connected the world through technology, trade, and media. So young people are exposed to global culture more than ever before. Also, while globalization brings a lot of opportunities for our society, it also raises a lot of concerns about values and cultural identity and belonging among youth. All right, now let's move on for Yaqub. Yaqub, today young people are deeply connected to social media and global trends, you know that. So from your perspective, how does globalization impact the young people behavior and their social behavior?
Okay, thank you, Mohammed, for the question. Okay, first of all, hello everybody. My name is Yaqub. I think about globalization, there is studies shows that globalization affects like language, lifestyle, and social behavior, especially among youth people, because those are the most active in social media. Mm-hmm. And because youth have greater access to social media, they are easily influenced by globalization.
Yes.
That's what creates a conflict between younger generation and the new generation.
Yeah.
And that's the effect of globalization.
All right, interesting. Okay, now let's move on for Albert. Albert, you mentioned a real life examples in your research. So can you share with us how globalization impact young people in countries like India and Kazakhstan?
Sure, thank you for having me. Yes, research does indeed show that the Indian youth are generally taking up Western values like individualism, capitalism, and materialism, replacing traditional values like community service and spiritual development.
Okay.
Certain ideas and concepts like wealth, luxury, and personal freedom are increasingly becoming prioritized over self-discipline, moral values, and collective responsibility. Mm-hmm. This shift is an indicator of how globalization not only influences personal lifestyle choices, but also deep-set value systems and the collective identity among the youth.
Okay.
Research also shows that among the Kazakhstan youth, young people are increasingly becoming more individualistic and less connected to traditional customs and traditions.
Okay.
Also, we see that the younger generation are less bound to traditional clan identities and communal norms compared to their parents, leading to a weakening of shared cultural ties and collective belonging.
So let's move on to Chansa. Chansa, we often hear a lot of opinions about culture and identity. So can you explain for us how cultural relativism and nationalism help us understand the impact of globalization on young people?
Thank you for that question. My name is Chansa. I'm going to be talking about cultural relativism and nationalism. Cultural relativism suggests that all cultures should be unique within their own context. No culture is superior to the other, and we should respect each and every culture.
Okay.
Globalization exposes young people to many different cultures, although it can also cause confusion.
Okay.
There can also be clashes when youths are exposed to like global fashion trends and then tend to move away from their own cultural presets. Yes.
Okay.
And then as for nationalism, this is when a country prioritizes its own identity, cultural pride, and unity. So how this can affect young people is when young people are not allowed to, for example, travel to different countries, like due to strict immigration policies, which decreases the exposure to global.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Now let's move for Muskan. Muskan, I believe there is some theories, some philosophical theories that focuses more on community and social influence. So, would you explain for us how does communitarianism and social constructivism explain the way youth are shaped today?
Okay, so communitarianism focuses on the importance of community and shared values.
Okay.
It argues that identity is shaped by the society
Yeah.
and not just by individual choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and on the other hand, we have social constructivism, which explains that identity and values
Okay.
are formed through social interaction, through education and the media.
Yeah.
And because globalization influences these spaces, it really affects how the youth see themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's how communitarianism and social constructivism is affected by globalization.
Okay, thank you for that. So now I'm going to ask you, Young, based on everything we discussed so far, what's the real problem behind globalization, and how can national philosophies help us in our situation? And also, can you suggest a few solutions for our problem?
Thank you, Mohammed, for having me. My name is Rion. So you see, the problem is not actually globalization, but however, it's the lack of guidance that the youth have in it. Research shows that the youth is not confused because of their exposure to global culture, but because they're often left without the moral and the cultural framework to evaluate what they consume on the internet, through the media, and in their education. National philosophies such as Malaysia's national education philosophy and the Rukun Negara offer a balanced framework that promotes responsibility, unity, and critical thinking.
Okay.
These philosophies often provide shared values like respect, social responsibility, and belief in ethical principles, which help young people actually remain grounded while still participating in a globalized world.
Yeah.
The solution that we have thought of includes digital media literacy.
Okay.
So that provides also community engagement and value-based education that helps the youth engage globally without losing their identity.
Okay.
Digital media literacy also allows for the young people to question global media influences instead of passively accepting them.
Yeah.
Value-based education further strengthens this by turning national philosophy into a living guide that shapes ethical decision-making, cultural pride, and global citizenship.
All right. Thank you, Rian, for this.
Hello, my name is Idris. I will conclude all the ideas that we discussed in our show. In conclusion, globalization strongly influences youth and identity and values. It offers many opportunities, such as learning and cultural exchange. However, without awareness, it can weaken a cultural identity and the sense of belonging. The key is balance. Young people should engage with the global world while staying connected to their culture and community. When globalization and identity work together, youth can grow with confidence in a globalized society.
All right, that's it for our show. Hope you enjoy it and hope you understand more about the impact of globalization on young people. And see you in another episodes.